Welcome in. Episode 6 of Beantown Breakdown, presented by Boston Sports Syndicate. Nick Galle alongside Andrew Parker. As always, on this Friday morning, we got some snowfall here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but we are inside, we are warm, and we are good to go for a jam-packed episode of Boston sports and Massachusetts culture. Andrew, how are we doing this morning?
Yeah, first major snowfall,
Yeah.
I would say, of the season here in Boston, and it's still coming down. It's nice to see, but
Nice to
yeah,
see.
it is. I like it. It's refreshing.
I don't know.
For a guy that's been living in Missouri for the past couple of years, it's pretty refreshing.
Fair point. I'm not a big fan, but I'm still dealing with snow out in Milwaukee, so I can't escape it. But it is a
Yeah,
first
I
major
mean,
snowfall today.
this is so different than when it would snow in Missouri because people would go absolutely crazy and they would go straight to a grocery store and they would buy every single thing on the shelf if the newscaster said that there was going to be even a possible chance of snow. And then the snow would come and it would be like maybe an inch, maybe a dust. And people would have just thought there was an apocalypse going on. And it was wild. Like people don't know, like they don't know what to do when it snows there. Like it's kind of wild. So it's kind of refreshing being here because I was kind of looking out on the roads a little bit and they're already like a little cleared. And I don't know, it wouldn't be like this if I was in St. Louis.
They usually know how to take care of the snow out here, thank God, for the most part. It's not always, but generally they have it under control. Sometimes, I guess. But the grocery store thing still reigns true. People buy things like crazy. We'll actually have some grocery store discussion at the end of the show, so stick around for that, where we give our best grocery stores in Mass as part of kind of the culture part of all this. But we got to get into the sports first, as we always do. And there's a lot to break down here. We'll start off with the Celtics. Most recent, game was last night. New York Knicks. There's a lot to say about this game. Yeah, there was a 2-point loss to the Spurs a couple nights ago. Heartbreaking loss. Whatever. Like, you're used to it by now with Celtics basketball. Last night was a different breed of disappointment. I mean, this was terrible. Like, we always say this is the worst loss of the season. The Celtics find a way to top that.
You know what's funny is I texted you at one point because I knew you would be fuming at a certain point when I start to see, I think it was the third quarter. I was starting to see like the Knicks claw back into it. I couldn't watch the game last night because the Bruins were on at the exact same time, which was frustrating. But
Typical.
I don't know. I saw them, like I kept like checking periodically during intermissions. I was watching a little bit, but I was watching when they were starting to claw back into that third, and I'm like, oh, this looks way too familiar.
You knew what was happening immediately too. Let's start off with this. It's a 108-105 loss, okay, to the New York Knicks. But how the Celtics got to that point, absolutely atrocious. Boston has a 25-point lead at one point during this game. 25 points. And that lead gets eviscerated. Just absolutely destroyed. Gonzo. See you later. We've seen this before, the Celtics team blow leads in the range of like 15 to 20 points. I don't know. I think 25 might have been the highest lead blown this year. I'm not 100% sure on that. But terrible. Absolutely terrible. Jason Tatum had an unbelievable game. San Antonio game, he was playing a lot of iso ball. I think he took a lot of stupid shots he shouldn't have been taking. But that game has just been overshadowed by this Knicks game. He was great last night. 36 points on 12 of 21 shooting, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 6 of 11 from 3. So he was distributing the ball too. I thought he was playing good basketball. But that didn't matter because our old friend Evan Fournier had 41.
Celtics legend Evan Fournier.
No. Not Celtics legend Evan Fournier. Celtics bum. Certified Celtics bum Evan Fournier. And he had 41 points and hit 10 threes in 14 attempts. It was the most unbelievable game I've ever seen in my life from Evan Fournier.
I got some good stats for you for the New York Knicks last night that might make your blood boil a little more.
Great. Let's hear him.
It was the largest comeback win for the Knicks since 2004. It was their first buzzer beater since 2012. And it was a tying franchise record 10 3-pointers made for Evan Fournier.
Why, though? Of all
Yeah.
people.
I don't know. It just can't. I can't believe that. I cannot believe they came back from 25 points.
Yeah, you and me. Well, no, I actually can, honestly.
I kind of talked about it when we were talking about the right after the Suns game, and I was just like, "There's no way." Say they're down by. No, well, they were actually up by 25. I was like, say they're down by 25 and they come back against the Magic that next game, but they still win. I'm like, it's not really that great of a win, right? Because you're like, we shouldn't have even been down by 25 in the first place. The Knicks probably shouldn't even been down by 25 in the first place to the Celtics. I think they're both pretty equal teams almost. Yeah. I know the Knicks are missing a couple guys, but it's kind of funny because I didn't think that this was going to be the team that they came crashing on. I thought it was going to be like a Suns, maybe they were up by 20 to the Suns or whatever, but I don't know how you can let the Knicks do that to you. And then you have to play them literally again in a back-to-back.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal. And
their morale's got to be shot.
Oh, dead. I was thinking last night, if you blow the 25-point lead, but if you scrap that game out, I mean, that might change the season a little bit. And I know we keep saying, oh, this win might change the season. This win might change the season. That one might actually turn things around a tiny bit. And you might actually be able to go on a run. Now, I don't know how you even finish a season. I don't even know how you're going to play 82 games and get through that. I can't imagine this team playing 82 games and getting through a full season. We haven't even gotten into the RJ Barrett shot yet, which was just an absolute
madness.
YMCA heave. It was, you knew that shot was going in. I saw it go up. I was like, yeah, it's going in. I mean, there's just no way this ball misses.
That noise that just came out of you was pretty intense.
Because it's perplexing. It's perplexing how this team finds an astonishing way to lose every night. And if the Fournier 41-point piece wasn't enough for you, career high for him, by the way, if him hitting 10 threes en route to that 41 points isn't enough for you, and the RJ Barrett shot wasn't enough for you, Ime Udoka comes out after the game and drops perhaps the worst quote in modern human history. First of all, on Twitter last night, a bunch of stuff coming out. Jay King tweeted that Udoka said, quote, repetitive result is happening. And then he added in the tweet, said it will keep happening if the Celtics don't make changes, said they need leadership to stop them from getting rattled.
That's where he should come in, right? I thought he was supposed to be the leadership.
You think so as a coach? I mean, that's kind of like a teacher walking into a school, looking around and being like, someone needs to teach these kids. Someone really should get on that right now and start teaching these kids to do something. That's at the point where you kind of look around and you start to say, you're the teacher. You should be doing that. I mean, that's kind of your job. That's why you were hired.
Yeah, it's hey, we're paying you pretty decent money. Why don't you kind of do the thing you just said to do type thing?
Yeah, if only there was someone that could perhaps instill some leadership in this team, like a coach of some sort, or I was texting with my roommate last night. Do you think Ime Udoka knows he's coaching this team, or do you think he's
I don't think so.
You think they asked him last night, hey, you're coaching this team, and he was like, you telling me those aren't good season tickets, sideline, courtside? They're like, no, you're supposed to be drawing up the plays, coaching this team. And he was probably just like, oh my God, I thought I just looked out on the tickets.
Yeah, that quote's madness because he's pretty much saying he needs leadership, but I know he's probably directing it to players, but come on, dude. Your team's collapsing right in front of you every single night. And it's don't you think you should probably try to fix things, like maybe shake up something, the rotation. I don't know. Like,
Stop throwing your players under the bus too. Like you're playing this man's taking like no responsibility for this. It's like our players are mentally untough, this and that. Do something about it, dude. What I mean, the fans aren't going to do anything. The players clearly aren't going to do anything. You need to intervene. You need to do something. I don't know what your coaching, methods are in practice, behind the scenes, behind closed doors, in the locker room, what you're telling them during half times. It's not working. It clearly is not working. And I'll give you the full quote here. This was broken down by Chris Grenham. He tweeted this out last night. Udoka said, quote, repetitive result that's happening. Either we're going to make some adjustments and get tired of it, or it's going to keep happening. Message was short and sweet. Wasn't about the last play again, which I do agree with. The last play, it sucked, but you got to that point for other reasons, Fournier being one of them. Udoka continues to say, it was everything leading up to it. Exactly. We need some leadership. Yeah. Somebody that can calm us down and not get rattled when everything starts to go a little south. And I think it snowballs between our guys. Step up, or do I have to stop all of our momentum and pace and call a play? So that's what I said to them. The part of the quote, in addition to the leadership thing, that stands out to me, step up, or do I have to stop all of our momentum and pace and call a play? First of all, I don't think the Celtics had that much momentum last night for the second half of that game. They pretty much had none. They were getting it handed to them for the second half. There's no doubt. He's basically saying someone needs to step up, or do I need to do my job and call a play? Is that not the most ridiculous quote you've ever heard in your life after a loss like that?
oh man, it's almost like when I just heard you say that, it's almost like I thought of like a waiter. And you've ever had like a really bad like waiter or waitress at a restaurant, and they like give you terrible service, and then like you're like when I was younger, like your parents would be like, oh, like I want to speak to the manager or something because this is awful. And the manager comes over and he like tries to fix it, but then the waiter or waitress is like, I didn't do anything, like blah blah. Like or should I have actually brought you your stuff quicker, or like should I have actually done this, that? And it's like, well,
Yes.
it's kind of like what you're supposed to do, right? Like
I'll give you a little anecdote here. In 2014, you know the Cake Boss, right?
Cake Boss.
The Cake Boss. You ever see that show?
Uh
Do you not know who the Cake Boss is?
no, I'm not a Cake Boss guy, I
This is
guess.
crazy, man. Buddy Velastro, I believe is his name. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got suckered into watching a cake baking show like Christmas time. It was like a Christmas special one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but why would you watch
All
that?
right. 2014. The Cake Boss was pulled over and arrested for a DUI or DWI, whatever the charge is. I forget the exact charge. Um, I have an excerpt pulled out from a story here from ABC News. According to the prosecutor, this is exactly from the story. Velastro told cops during his arrest, quote, I had a couple drinks. You can't arrest me. I'm the Cake Boss, end quote. For the past 8 years, I've thought that was the stupidest quote of all time. Absolute, just laughing stock quote there. Ime Udoka may have taken the crown for dumbest quote of all time, stealing it, ripping it out of the hands of the Cake Boss last night when he said, uh, step up, or do I have to stop all of our momentum and pace and call a play? That literally might be the dumbest quote of all time. He might have taken the crown right off of the Cake Boss's head right there.
I had no idea about Cake Boss, so that's interesting.
Yeah, Cake Boss ruined his career when he said, you can't arrest me, I'm the Cake Boss, after throwing some back and getting in a vehicle.
Kind of a legend, right? Like I don't know.
Ballsy
you
move.
feel like that's what Udoka's gonna do when they were like, "Hey, you're fired." He's like,
"You can't fire me.
I'm the Celtics coach." Like,
you can't fire me. I'm the Celtics coach. Yeah, no, he should be fired right now. He should have been gone a week ago. I've been calling for this for like November. I could just see the writing in the stars. I think I combined two quotes there or two sayings. Um, the proof was in the pudding, I guess. Like November, I was like, yo, this guy has zero energy. Get him out. Get him out. Like I can already tell this is gonna go south. And now the Celtics are in their darkest hours. I think we said like the C's were in their darkest hours like a couple weeks ago or last week. It is officially like darker than that. The Celtics are in like an ocean right now, and they keep plummeting. Just seeing how dark it can get at the surface.
You know what's that kind of reminded me of too, by the way, the kick boss thing and the whole Udoka thing is even uh, earlier last year, Johnny Damon getting arrested on the
Oh, yep.
DUI, and he literally was telling the cops it was somewhere in Florida, I think, but
I think so.
he was I think it was close to Fort Myers. I think it was like in the area, but I remember he told the cops, he said, you're only arresting me because I played for the Red Sox. You guys are Yankees fans or something along the lines. He was like, yeah, you're only doing this because I was a Red Sox player. And the cop was like, I don't think it has anything to do with it. He's like,
I mean,
you were literally like swerving like 3 lanes, ran 5 stop signs, like you were pulling you over because of that. And he's like, no, like you're only pulling me over because I played for Red Sox.
Johnny, you just blew a .32. It's not
Yeah.
because of your.
He's like, it's not because of that.
No, it's just not. I mean, you got to realize the correlation there. Like, listen, man, no one is arresting you because you're the cake boss, and we can't arrest you even though you are the cake boss. Let me make that clear. You're viciously drunk right now. That's why we're arresting you. And right now, Udoka is coaching this team like he is viciously intoxicated. And like, for example, there was a play last night. Ball went out of bounds, called out of bounds on the Celtics. They showed a replay. It looked like it was clearly out of bounds on Mitchell Robinson. Udoka didn't challenge it. Celtics could have made it a 2-possession lead. They were up by 2, I think, at the time. Udoka didn't challenge. And, like, you should challenge in that situation. I mean, why are you not using your challenge? You just
I don't think
use
there's
a
anything to
challenge.
lose.
Exactly. Like, you need to challenge that. There's just so many questionable calls that Udoka has made, and it's going to continue. And this team is an absolute disaster right now.
Speaking of disaster,
Yeah,
look at your Boston Bruins as well.
yeah. I was just gonna get into that, but very nice segue. Beautiful.
I was completely right about this team so far, and I'm not happy that I'm right, but I was actually so close to blogging about I was so close to blogging about them just being so average, it hurts. Like, and then they went on that 3-game win streak, so everybody just forgot about it because they didn't play. They didn't play for like 2 weeks, and they've won all 3 games they've played since that pause. So everybody's like, oh, it's different. Like they're back, everything. No, same old team because you played 3 of the worst teams in the league coming out of that. So it's like equivalent. You know how like when the Red Sox this past season, like when they played the Orioles, they looked amazing. I mean, it's the Orioles, and they would put up like 20 runs. Like you're like, holy cow, this team is like absolutely insane. They go off against the Orioles, and
Well, yeah, after those first 3 games to open the season.
Yeah. But I meant like later in the season. I remember there was one series. I went to, I think, one of the games at Fenway. They put up like 18 runs, and then the next day they put up like 11, and then like they were just going off against. They were teeing off, and so it's similar to something like that where it's like, hey, like the Red Wings are below you in the standings. The Devils are also below you in the standings. It's teams that you should like really beat. And there shouldn't be like, if you lose to them, then you have issues. But like they're doing this thing this year, even like since the beginning, they beat the bad teams and they lose to the good teams. So all the teams that are above them in the standings, they just lose to them all the time, and all the teams below them, they beat them. So like I don't know what that tells you. Is that like a mediocre thing?
I mean, that's like a 500 season right there. That's what that's.
It's literally a spitting image of the Celtics. It's like kind of funny. Like
I don't even know what the Celtics are now. The Celtics like just lose to every team they can. Or I almost feel like the Celtics are reversed. Like when you don't think they're gonna win, they do, and then when you think it like, oh, they can get some momentum with this win. Like, they can build a win streak. This is a game they can actually take. They pull shenanigans like last night, and you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, last night though was like I know that it happened. I know that like the Celtics, it happens like all the time, but like get the lead and then they come back. But last night was just special just because like Fournier just dominated and stuff. But
Last night was a spitting image for the Celtics season. It was like the season.
I think it was the same for the Bruins. Like I think they both were like, hey, like Bruins had their first 3-game win streak since like what, October? Like they were like very first month of the season. So it's like it was like literally the story of the season. Like, hey, they just won 3 straight games. They're about to go on a run. They finally moved into a playoff spot within the past week. And then they have a big game against the Wild. Wild are missing like a ton of people because of the COVID list. They literally had a couple guys test positive yesterday morning. And the Wild literally dressed 11 forwards and 7 defensemen, which I don't know if you know much about like hockey like lineups, but you're supposed to have 12 forwards and 6 defensemen. They dressed 11 forwards and 7 defensemen.
What is it?
Like
COVID stuff going on?
Honestly, the coach, they could have had another forward. They had another like young guy like on hand, and the coach was like, we'll be fine. Like they haven't played. They've played 2 games since like December 7th. They have like the Wild have not played at all. So it's like they didn't even dress like a standard lineup and they still won. So it's like, and they lost their star player because of Trent Frederic. But I don't know, man. I did you catch much of it? I know the Seas were playing. I don't know if you caught like any highlights or anything.
I didn't catch a lick of that Bruins game. I was in my bag with that Seas game.
Yeah,
absolute.
Reason I was asking, the Bruins have this like certified psychopath on their team, Trent Frederic. He's a young kid. He actually went to high school in St. Louis, kind of close to where I lived. And I actually knew a guy that played high school football with him. And this guy was such a psychopath in high school. And he was the star quarterback. Like he's a good athlete. So he used to actually stop games in between plays on a football field, and he would start just absolutely beating the crap out of like defensive players. Like,
are you serious?
He would just like say he would rush for like an 8-yard gain. He would take off his helmet, rip off the corner's helmet or safety or whatever, and just start like hockey fighting this guy.
It's like borderline assault, isn't it? I mean,
he got kicked out of so many games in high school football. And I remember there was a quote from his high school coach. They play for like a pretty good program in St. Louis. His coach was literally like, I don't think football is his sport. He needs to just stay with hockey.
I'd say so, yeah. I think that's a good assessment.
So like obviously it worked out for Trent. Like he was a first round pick from the Bruins. So it's like it worked out well, but dude's just crazy. Like he's got
that's
like
insane.
He is a like loose cannon. And last night was like the proof was in the pudding. He literally fought twice.
Is that two the proof is in the pudding references in one episode here?
Did I say it again? Or did you say it?
I said it once. So
I didn't even know you said it.
Well, there we go. We got 2 in.
Wow.
So if we get
I never say that.
People are live betting right now if we're gonna get 3 in by the end of the episode. The odds.
No chance.
No. Well,
I'm taking the under.
Okay, well, the over was set at 2.5 right now. The live over is set at 2.5. The underline.
There's no chance. I never say that.
The underline sitting at -315, and the overline is sitting at like plus 410.
Okay.
I mean, it's good odds if you want to take it.
You can't do that on purpose, but.
Well, if someone wants to take it, I will. I might drop one at the end of the episode. Grant them a viciously nice payday. You never know.
Oh,
but continue.
I mean, honestly, like, it's just like it's just funny because that's just how much of a psychopath Trent Frederic is, and it's kind of funny watching it. Like, I'm trying to like put it into like translation into like a basketball, like a Celtics version or like a Sox or Patriots version, and it's almost literally like Marcus Smart.
Yeah, I
You
was
know
gonna
how he's
say,
like
yeah.
he's like a little on the edge of on the edge sometimes, and he's just a little weird. It'd almost be like him just literally like having like a screw loose for a game, and say we're playing against the Suns and Devin Booker's out there and my man is like all over him the entire game, and he's like being like a little too aggressive on him, and he's like, it's kind of, he's maybe like hitting him a few times, like stuff like that. But yeah, Frederic took out the Wild's best player yesterday, and then a guy tried to stand up for the injured player and then literally got like knocked out. Like, it was kind of nuts. Like, Trent was just on a mission last night. I don't know. It was
I mean, hey, could use him on the Celtics, honestly. Need some heart.
I don't know if the Bruins need him. Like, it's like the thing where it's like they just set a season high in penalty minutes last night because Trent Frederic was in the box every second of the game. So and the Wild scored on like all their power plays. So that's how we lost.
I mean, yeah, you got to level it out there because, like there's a line between being aggressive and, committing whatever sport it be, fouls, penalties at the right time. And then there's also a line that you can cross that line and then it starts to become harmful to your team. Like basketball, like you want to commit good fouls, but like if you start committing too many and you're fouling out of games, you're committing fouls in big situations, you're screwed. Hockey the same way. You're committing penalties at the wrong time, and then that translates to your opponent scoring on the power play. Every time they get one,
it's so like I like it and I don't like the NBA rules, how you can foul out a game. I don't know if I don't think hockey needs like a foul out rule per se, but they do give like game misconducts, like sometimes, like to where they literally just kick out a player. They're like, hey, you need to just get out of here. They didn't do that last night to him, which I was shocked about because he was just unhinged.
Just on one.
Crazy. But basketball, like, I guess you do have like you only get like what you don't even get like that many chances, like to
six fouls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like usually you get your fifth and it's like, all right, and you sit the bench anyway. But
even like your fourth, if you get like your fourth in like the third quarter, you're not gonna play.
Yeah,
like
the coach is gonna sit you regardless, like unless it's like literally in the final like 5 minutes or something. But it's I don't know. I agree with you though. It's wild, but I don't want to talk much more about the Bruins because they got Tampa tomorrow, and I am predicting a slaughter fest because Tampa's the best team in the league. So I just don't want to get too much into it until next week when I'm like, okay, we just won 3 straight, we just lost 3 straight, we're back where we freaking were.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll have a good assessment of that next week. I'm sure you'll get a kind of good idea of how this team is doing by then, for sure. But on a positive note, a very depressing start to the episode. Sorry about that, folks. We probably should have started off with the good news. Patriots 50-10 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Granted, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, but that game was amazing on all cylinders. It was a game I think the Patriots needed, regardless of who they were playing. I think that gives them a good confidence boost heading into the final week of the regular season against Miami. And then, obviously, they clinched the playoff spot as well. So now there's going to be a postseason in New England. Start building the momentum now, and I think with this Jacksonville win, they did just that.
It's gonna be very telling on Sunday.
Big time.
I don't know. I think the Dolphins aren't even playing for anything. Obviously, they're already eliminated, so they are playing for 0. They are completely healthy, though. I just looked at the injury report for Sunday. They are like completely healthy. So I feel like they're gonna give it their all. I feel like the Dolphins, Brian Flores too. I feel like he wants to beat the Patriots. Obviously, every time he plays them, Patriots obviously struggle in Miami every year. Like I saw they lost like 6 of their last 8 in Miami or something. It's like crazy because they asked Juwan Bentley about it, and he was like, "Yeah, like they've lost 6 of the last 8, but this is a different team, different quarterback, like just different everything." So, yeah, it's gonna be telling. I saw a thing too. Mac Jones has a chance to win Rookie of the Year this week if he has a good game against Miami. Jamar Chase, I think, is not playing for the Bengals. So I think that could swing it back into Mac's way. I saw that Jamar Chase has the highest odds now after that insane game against Kansas City.
It was nuts, but I honestly still think Mac is Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I agree with you because
I know I'm probably biased, but like, I mean, come on. I people are gonna just freak out. Listen, it was a great game by Jamar Chase. You know, anytime you go for what he went for, like what
229.
Yeah, 229, 3 tutties, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so like anytime you do that, like that's crazy. It's an amazing game. I mean, historic. But at the same time, like, look at who's had the better season. Look who's like played a bigger role in their team's success. It's Mac Jones. And I mean, maybe you could say, oh, Jamar Chase has had a better season. It's tough to compare QB, wide receiver, their impact. But look what Mac has done for this team, you know, in terms of turning them around from last season to this season. I think there's a huge difference. I know the Bengals are having a great season too, but yeah it probably comes down to bias. I think it's Mac still.
I agree. I think Mac in the day gets it, and I'm not going to say just because he's QB, but I do know what it has hurt them this year. The first Buffalo game, definitely hurt him. And then right after that Buffalo game, he had 2 straight games where he really struggled against the Colts and Bills. So I don't know. I just feel like up until the first Buffalo game, I feel like he was a hands down favorite. I didn't even think anybody else was even going to get remotely close to him. And then he kind of like struggled for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jamar kind of started really racking up some yards. And now it's like, hey, Mac, you got a good shot to finish off this with a W. Go out, throw 300 yards, get a couple touchdowns to beat the Dolphins. Like, got to beat the Dolphins. If he loses to the Dolphins, I don't think he wins it.
Yeah, probably not. And I don't think this team does good in the playoffs either. I mean, you go into the postseason coming off a loss against Miami. I think
it's going to be interesting where they end up. I'm looking at it because all of the playoff teams pretty much that are ahead of them, well, all the division leaders there, because they got the top wild card right now. All of the division leaders have like a pretty easy opponent this week, which is kind of funny. Like, I think the Titans have like the Texans, I think.
I know Bills got Jets, I believe.
Yeah, Bills have the Jets, and then the Chiefs have the Broncos, who are kind of like a dumpster fire now. It's like every team ahead of you has like an easy opponent. So I don't see like many. And then the Bengals actually have the Browns, and I don't think Joe Burrow's not playing, but the Browns also don't have Baker Mayfield and a lot of their guys. So I think the only team ahead of you that might lose is the Bengals. So that could affect your opponent like all over the place. Like, you gotta look at it right now. We're playing the Bills in the first round if it stands. If all 4 of those teams win and you win, you play the Bills. Like, that's just how it goes. But if Bills win, Bengals lose, and you win, you play the Bengals. Like, it's so weird. It's just gonna it's gonna be interesting how everything shakes out on Sunday, because I don't know how I feel about going to Buffalo again.
I don't feel good about it per se.
They know you're the best. Like, and oh my gosh, it's like losing to the Yankees in like the playoffs. It's like, I don't want to lose to the freaking Yankees. No. Like in that wild card game this past year, if we would have lost to the Yankees, that would have been that would have worst way to go out.
That would have did me in, I think. That would have been my final straw.
I think the Bills is going to be up there. Like, it's going to be like, we just lost to Sean McDermott, like, in the playoffs. I hate that guy.
I hate Sean McDermott as well. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
He's like the only coach in the NFL that I absolutely despise.
There's a few others that I despise.
I didn't like Rex Ryan that much when he was coaching the Jets, but like, dude, Sean McDermott.
I hate McDermott. I've never liked Sean Payton. Uh,
Sean Payton's good. He's
I don't like him.
nice.
I hate Mike Tomlin. I've hated him ever since the
Okay.
whole, who was it, running back that kicked? Jacoby Jones, I think, and he stuck his leg out on the sideline.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's like
Okay.
looking up at the jumbotron. He's like, I didn't even realize he was behind me. I was like, yeah, you did. But yeah, no.
I can see that. All right.
Yeah, McDermott's definitely up there though.
I can't hate any other coach though. It's like I can't hate like you can't hate the Jets coach because can you even name the Jets coach?
Who is it now?
You can't name him.
I know it used to be Adam Gase.
It's Robert Saleh. See, like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. From the
you can't hate the guy because he hasn't really done it. He hasn't really done anything.
Well,
so it's
I forgot they hired him. I totally forgot they hired him.
Yeah. So it's like you can't hate I guess the Jets are like our rival, but it's like you can't hate. It hasn't really been a rivalry, so it's like you can't really hate him. But McDermott though, he's up there, and it's like you can't hate Brian Flores because it's like he came from the Pats.
I actually like Saleh a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with him.
He was great in San Fran as their, what was he, their DC, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean he was great with that defense.
He just hasn't really. He hasn't got like Rex Ryan like was able to like really like draw headlines, and he still does. But Robert Saleh is not anywhere close. I just think McDermott's just awful. I hate him.
Dude stinks.
I hate
Dude's
him.
Awful. Yeah.
I'm gonna just come out and say I hate him.
Well, everyone was wondering, so now they have their answer. They have that solidified. Right there. But yeah, no, not likable whatsoever. Clearly, he doesn't like the Pats either. It's going to be a huge week, New England and Miami. But it's also important to pay attention, as you mentioned, to these other games. Like, it's not just about New England winning. You got to have some work from other teams done. I'd love the Jets to pull out a win this week, honestly.
Oh, that would be – I'm going to be the biggest Jets fan this week.
I don't think they will, but I hope they do. But yeah, we'll monitor that, and of course, we will have the recap for you next week, next episode. So stay tuned, stay locked for that. What is today? The 7th. So next week, a week from today, it'll be the 14th. So yeah, I'm flying back on the 16th next Sunday, not this upcoming Sunday, but Sunday, a Sunday from Sunday. Be back in Milwaukee. So.
That sucks. I feel bad for you.
It does, but we'll get some episodes in for you guys. No worries about that. But yeah, big week, Pats, Dolphins. Pay attention to it because this is going to be, kind of a deciding factor of who the Pats are going to play in round one, and it could be big. Bills, Bengals. There's kind of a huge difference there in terms of. I don't know. I don't want to say talent because, like, offensively, I think the Bengals have an unbelievable team, but defensively,
yes.
I definitely think there's a huge drop off, and just in terms of knowing your opponent as well, the Bills, definitely know the Patriots. To close off the show, best grocery store. I mean, this is a fascinating topic. Just absolutely fascinating because people don't realize how much grocery stores play a role in the culture, like here in Massachusetts. Like, it's huge. I didn't realize that until I went elsewhere, like in Milwaukee, when I was like, yo, where's the closest market basket? And people looked at me like I had three eyes. But best grocery store. You told me before we started recording you're passionate about this one.
So passionate.
I want to hear yours right out of the gate.
Well, here's the thing. I live in Cambridge, right? Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of grocery stores around me, like within a close proximity. And I was telling you before show, there is literally there's a Trader Joe's right next to me. There's a Whole Foods. There's a Star Market. There's a Shaw's. And there's probably like a couple others. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you what, I will make the drive, the extra 15 minutes to drive every time to Wegmans.
All right. Hey.
You know big me. Wegmans guy.
What do you go to the one that's kind of near BC?
Nope. I'll go to the one up in Medford.
Oh, the Medford one.
Yeah. So.
Because there's another one closer to Boston, right?
Yeah, I guess. But We like going to the Medford one. I don't know. It's
That's
not that bad. But here's the thing. It's like you literally pull up to the Taj Mahal. You're there. Has a freaking parking garage for you every time, right? So it's like your car's nice and snug in the parking garage. You walk in, you hear the freaking roosters doing the cock-a-doodle-doo thing, and you're like, I'm home. Here I am. You ever walked
I'm
in and
home.
the roosters were doing the cock-a-doodle-doo thing?
You know, I worked at Wegmans for 5 years, right?
Oh, get out.
In high school, man. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, man. I worked there for 5 years, and
Why am I just learning this?
I don't know, man. The Northborough one. I worked there
Oh,
for
that's
5
way out there.
years. Yeah, so you probably didn't go to that. I worked there for 5 years. I started off as a cashier, and I also like pulled carts when I was like a sophomore, I think. No, freshman.
I cannot. My mind is blown. I
You're
had
blown.
zero idea about this.
No, yeah. So I started as a cashier, and then I would go help out in the dairy department when I was up front. And I did such a exquisite job stacking yogurt back there, where they were like, "Hey, do you want to work back here all the time?" So I did for like my last, like probably like 4 out of the 5 years I worked in the dairy department, just slinging yogurt, milk, eggs, the whole 9 yards. I got some great Wegman stories.
I had no idea. This blows my mind. I mean,
Yeah, no, 5 years of service. You're welcome.
Okay, I am talking to a veteran right now,
Seasoned.
and
So to answer your original question, I did hear that chicken about 16 times a day.
I
And
love it. I walk in the door, hear that cock-a-doodle-doo, I know I'm home.
yeah, you love it because you're only there for like an hour tops. When you are there and you are hearing that chicken for 16 times a day, I'm telling you,
Can I ask why they do that? Like, I still have no idea.
I have zero clue. I know kids like absolutely love it. Like they have
I
a
don't
lot
know
of,
if my girlfriend thought that it was a live chicken in the front of the store the first time she ever went. Like, she thought it was like.
To be fair, Wegmans will be the type of place that would go like above and beyond to do that type of thing.
She thought it was real, like 100%. And there was no convincing her otherwise that there wasn't one walking around on the floor in there. And I'm like, yeah.
I mean, hey, I can't knock her because like Wegmans, I mean, they're a high quality store, and I will say, I can't say anything bad. Like it's a good company to work for too. It is.
Well, now this is like kind of skewed because I think Wegmans is just. I think it's like top tier. I've walked into a Shaw's and I like Shaw's. I'm not saying anything bad against it, but I just think Wegmans is a tier up. And then obviously like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, those are like everywhere. So it's like, those are kind of like national stores. I don't know if those like really count, I guess, but I know people love Trader Joe's and I do like some things from there.
I hate Trader Joe's. No.
I don't like going in. I hate it. I hate the way they like the whole cashier system set. I hate that. Like, I don't like it. But I don't know. Wegmans is like it's elite tier, and I don't know if that's gonna skew because now that you're a seasoned vet. So like,
yeah, no, it's like,
well, I need to know what your go-to is now.
My go-to is honestly Market Basket. Only reason being is because
why
Wegmans,
a Market Basket?
I like Market Basket because it's got that grocery feel. It's got that homegrown feel. The prices are relatively good. Wegmans is expensive.
It is.
But
it's good. Like you said, it's very quality.
It's quality, and I will say Wegmans has like the best store brand items in like any grocery store.
Oh yeah, we love it.
So, but I will go Market Basket simply because like I think it meets that equilibrium of quality and price and feel. Like Market Basket's no dump. Like I think lower end grocery stores like a Shaw's, Star Market, like there's some crappy ones out there. Like obviously you get into like Target, Walmart. Those aren't even like localized grocery stores. You can't even really count those. But I think Market Basket has found that nice balance. Stop and Shop is decent too, but again, very pricey. Like Big Y, there's not a lot of those around, but very pricey, I feel like. Decent quality though. I feel like Market Basket has found that equilibrium between price and quality, and I like it. I like it a lot. Wegmans, man, like the other thing I loved about Wegmans is they let me keep my job when I was in college so I could work breaks, like come home, make some money, which was awesome. Until like COVID hit and like we got really short staffed. And like one day my manager was like, hey, it was right after Bill Belichick had that spending spree in the offseason. And he texted me and he was like, hey, Pats are looking really good. Like, because we talked about Boston sports a lot. He's like, Pats are looking really good. Love all these moves they've made. I mean, it's just great. I need you to resign though because we don't have enough people. I was like, way to open up the text with hey, the Pats are looking great. Hey, yeah, you can't work here anymore. I mean, we
That's
really
an
need.
all-time firing text, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, we really need you to resign. He said I could have kept the job, but I was working in the Cape for the summer, so I was only gonna work like a couple weeks. So I was like, yeah, I'll just give up the spot. Like, go hire someone full time. Like, use my spot. No hard feelings there. Like, it was a sad exit, man. I always expected my Wegmans exit to be this grand thing. I've been working there 5 years, put in the hours, man. Thought it was gonna be a grand thing. So I was just sad that I got gypped to that a little bit, but like, it was always a good
I still
experience.
can't believe I'm talking to a veteran. Like, I really
I'm
want to
telling you,
thank you
man.
for your service
I know
because
all I just the things I know about Wegmans, the things I've had to do at Wegmans. I mean, you just wouldn't even imagine. I broke up a fight at Wegmans once. Um, I remember one kid like just absolutely ralphed in the dairy section out on the
oh
floor,
God,
and
no.
I was like, yeah, I'm not cleaning this. I
That would
called
have been the day
maintenance.
I walked out.
Yeah, no, I called maintenance. I was like, yo, I'm not cleaning this. Like, I will stack all the yogurt in the world, but I'm not cleaning puke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it. Like, I did not sign up for this. But no, like it was a good like I, personally I think the best high school job you can get is like working at Wegmans.
Yeah,
You know.
I don't blame you. I think I would have loved to work at a Wegmans when I was in high school. It's
Yeah, it
just
was part-time, like, and then it's great for breaks. Like, I know I worked with like a bunch of kids that were like in college too. Um as I said, when I was in college, like we'd all come back. Like kids I've been working with since I was there in high school. Like there was a good group of us. And I outlasted like a ton of them. I mean, I was like one of the OGs. Like I was one of the longer tenured people. Like come my resignation, um,
your
So
forced resignation. Yes.
my implied resignation. They were like, "Hey, you you can stay, but we'd like if you resign." And
Yeah.
I was like, whatever I need to do to help you guys out. And as I said, I was in the Cape for the summer, so I knew I wasn't going to be working a lot of hours. But
Well, I will go back to your market basket point for a
yes,
second. You think market basket is your go-to, right?
yeah, 100%. When I'm out
I've
here,
been to market basket one time,
hmm
and it was the one in Waltham. So I was like, it can't be that bad, right? Terrible. Like
really, I heard there's
I
some
had
awful ones.
I had a bad experience, and the area it's at right off of 95. It's like right off the highway, 95,
Hmm
in Waltham, right there. It's like right across from Mass General, Waltham, and it was a crazy experience. First of all, there was like a billion people there, which I
Yeah.
absolutely do not like, but I should have known because the area was in. There was a guy playing like the violin in the parking lot, which was very weird to me. I remember
Yeah.
it very distinctly. Guys just playing a sad violin, like a sad, like when the Titanic was going down and they were like playing. That's what the guy was doing. Like, he's literally playing like a sad song on violin while I'm like walking in the front door. I was like, this is a great way to greet people. Like, just put them in a depressing mood to go grocery shop. Like, so that I think I was just screwed from the start.
That'll do
But
you in.
there was a million people there, so it's like those times where it's like you're like pushing the cart around and you like can't like you have like you want to get something,
Hmm
but you're like I can't leave this cart here because there is like 8 guys around me with carts that are trying to like weave around and I'm like blocking the intersection. Like I hate that. I hate feeling like I'm blocking like the intersection with the cart. So like I literally had to like push it like I had to like take it to like the opposite side, leave it, go get it so like I don't feel as bad. I don't know. There was just a lot.
That sounds hectic, man. I'm sorry. Like I
I
usually
might need to
the
go
one.
back, but
You
just
try
to
it out
see if
again. You try a different one, different location. Like I go to the one in Leominster, and like it gets busy sometimes. Obviously, as any grocery, like it depends where you go too. You know, like because I remember working Sundays at Wegmans. Insane.
oh,
Like
we don't go Sundays.
yeah, no,
That's
you
like rule
can't.
number one. Like we have to do grocery pickup if we go on Sundays,
Yeah,
which is a hell of a thing, by the way.
yeah. I remember when they added that. Like
Oh
it was
gosh,
just,
it's a
it was
game changer.
something. Dude, I'll
Game
tell you,
changer.
like I didn't. I guess I kind of pinged you as a Wegmans guy when we were talking before the show, and like you were like, "It's not this, it's not this." I was like, "Yeah, I mean that it's got to be Wegmans then. It's got to be Wegmans." Like, I mean, it's a great store. Like, there's so much stuff in that store too. It's ridiculous. And I
Yeah,
mean,
it's elite. It's always been elite.
no, they're really good, man. I mean, they're um, top tier. Like, it stinks because like I remember when my mom first took me to Wegmans when I was probably like 10 or something. Or like I don't know how old I was. But because like when it first opened in Northborough is the closest one to me, and it's like 30 minutes away. It's like long. It's like a dude, I spent so much gas driving to Wegmans, but like the pay was good and it was a good place to work, so like it was worth it. I'd rather drive 30 minutes to Wegmans and drive like 10 to Walmart and work there.
Exactly.
But
100%.
yeah, but like I remember the first time I was in there, like you're a kid, like even you as an adult walking in, you're like, I'm home. Dude,
I'm home.
as a kid walking in for the first time, you're like, yeah, this place is magical. They had the food court area,
The
like
roosters going
the
on in
roosters
front.
going. The Northborough one has a train above the dairy section.
Yes, so does
Yeah.
Medford. I love that part. I still love that part. Like the little train, and it's like choo choo, and it's
I will
like,
tell
oh,
you
that's kind of cool.
again,
Like
it gets horrible when you're there for 10 hours around the holidays.
I can see that.
But you walk in, it's like this magical place. Working there for 5 years, like the magic dies. I'm not gonna lie, like because
That's so sad. That's
it
so
is.
sad.
It's tough, man. Like I should go there tomorrow. I haven't been in since like the resignation, so I should go in tomorrow,
Ooh.
see who still works there, say some hellos. But yeah, it's been quite some time. It really has. But like, yeah, the magic dies, and that's a sad thing. Like, cause like I love the store, and my first few months, year even of working there, I was like, this is awesome. I'm working at Wegmans, man. Like, this is great. And then like it hits you. I assume it's like any other job. It hits you, and you're like, this is work. And then you're pulling 12-hour shifts there. I pulled 12-hour shifts there some days.
You're on like the 110th yogurt cart that you're trying to unload and stock, and
I won't even get into that. You have literally the average human being cannot reasonably fathom how much yogurt I stacked at that store. Dude, if I got commission,
I would
if I
be
got
so tired of it.
it got I mean, it was nice because like you realize you kind of have OCD, and like I would try and make everything look perfect, and then you start getting pissed at people who are like buying the yogurt. Like you see someone like grab one cup of yogurt and you're like, this mother, like you get so mad. But like I mean, you just never imagine it. Like there's obviously the walk-in cooler, and you like slide doors from behind and like fill the yogurt from behind. And like I was probably back there like swearing, like people are walking by, like hearing me cuss, like just from behind the yogurt wall. It's probably terrifying, but
The yogurt wall.
I made that. I made that. I mean, I made that yogurt wall on my own, man. I mean, there's probably like a plaque of me hanging above that, like a in memoriam type thing. I don't know, but yeah, I got so many Wegmans stores. We might have to just dedicate a. We might have to just make a Wegmans episode. I'm not even kidding. Just like a 15,
Might have to
20
reach
minute.
out to them, see if they'll sponsor us. Honestly,
We should just have someone from Wegmans on here. I got the connections, man. I really do.
We should have your former boss who made you force resign after talking about the Patriots.
He'd honestly probably come on. He probably would. I mean, he knows his Boston sports. And I remember my old manager, the one before him, was like the man. Like the absolute man. Like just so laid back. Like I liked my my most recent manager too, the forced resignation one. I liked all my managers I had there, but just the absolute man, laid back, like worked like his tail off, like day in day out. This man grinded, and the absolute man. So shout out Will if you're listening. I know it's been like 6 years now, but the face you just made when I said that, you're like in solidarity with him, just like he's a good man. He's a damn good man. He is a damn good man. But no, yeah, it was. I'm not even kidding. Like, we might just have to rip like a 15-20 minute special edition Wegmans episode. We might as well.
Maybe even we could do it from a Wegmans.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. That would be awesome. Like, that'd be electric.
That's bucket list stuff. We have a few other items on our bucket list so far, and that's gonna be up there.
The Wegman, dude. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Like, I swear, if I reached out to Northborough and I was like, "Hey, listen, this is what I got going on. I know it's
I am a 5-year vet of your
Yeah.
store. Let's do this."
Listen, I put in the time, I put in the service. Okay, you let me do this at this store, and they probably would. You know, I still got.
We
some
could do it
connections.
over. I like their. I don't know if Northborough has this, but the Medford and the Burlington one I went to has it. But they have that massive like alcohol area.
Oh yeah,
You
Northborough
can
has
just
that.
set up in there. It's pretty chill over there.
Yeah, it was weird because I remember, like, I started working at that store when I was 15, I think, or 16. I think I was 16, and I turned 21 there. Did I? Was I working there when I was? Yeah, I think the last time I worked there is. Did I work there? Yeah. The last time I worked there is like the winter break after I turned 21. So I remember, I went and like I forget what I bought there. I bought like you can like craft your own 6-pack. You guys have that there? At
The what?
Medford? At the Medford one, you can like build your own 6-pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have that.
So I did that, and I remember like some of the people I'd been working with since I was like 16. I went up to the register like with the craft your own 6-pack, and they were like, "Oh my god, like you're 21 now?" And I was like, "Yeah, like it's crazy, isn't it?" And they were like, "I remember when you were 16, just a
Sounds
small."
like your grandma when you would go visit
I know,
her.
it was crazy. It was crazy. I really grew up at Wegmans. I hate to say it, but I did.
Such a
That job,
feel-good story.
that job taught me a lot. It really did. It really did. But Andrew Parker, Wegmans guy. I am sort of a Wegmans guy by default, but Market Basket kind of my go-to. This has been a long episode right here, but a lot of good stuff. A lot of good clips in this one, I feel like. A lot of good
Yeah,
clips.
you're gonna have fun editing this one.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a fun edit for sure. But yeah, it's been a great episode, no doubt about it. And TikTok, we're happy to announce we had a video pop off yesterday for some reason. I gotta see what the viewage is up to that. So yeah, I was gonna say follow us on social because, I mean, for some reason, I guess we're nailing the TikTok game. Had a nice C's video yesterday, pop off for 51.3 thousand views. So if you're not following us on TikTok already, make sure to go follow us at Beantown Breakdown. Also follow us on IG at Beantown Breakdown, on Twitter at Btown Bdown Pod. It's all below in our beautiful little header that we've created. Andrew, any final thoughts? We always like to end on your final thoughts.
Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, I think we had a longer episode, so we kind of nailed a lot of stuff. But final thoughts, I guess I'll hit it everywhere. But yeah, no Red Sox stuff, obviously. Still depressing. Don't want to talk about it. Celtics, depressing. Don't want to talk about it. We already did talk about it a lot. The Bruins, still depressing. I really I have nothing else to say to them right now until next week. We'll know more. The Patriots, obviously, they massive game. We talked about it. next week's going to be good. We'll do some preview on the opponent. I didn't want to get too much into possible opponents because it's like there's probably like a billion. And it is still snowing. That is, in fact, a thing.
What do I got going on? Oh yeah, it's still snowing here too.
I just actually looked up just Boston 25 news, and they have like a snow like tracker thing, whatever. And I think the area I'm at right now they said 7 to 8 right now, and it is still snowing.
I gotta see. I'm gonna check the Apple. It says I'm supposed to get snow for like a couple more hours, possibly. So, getting to the end of it, I think.
Yeah, so it's still snowing, and I think that is my final thoughts.
Hope everyone's staying safe in the snow. Definitely not the worst, but definitely not the best today, for sure. So, first real snowfall of the winter here in Mass, across the state. So, we hope wherever you are, you're staying warm. The snow isn't too bad, and hopefully you're not putting in too much work today. Shoveling, snow blowing, whatever you need to do. So that wraps up episode 6, though. Again, heavy episode. A lot in here. If you stuck around till the end, we really do appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed listening. You can follow us on all of our socials. As I said, they're listed below. Make sure to do so. If you ever want to hop on an episode, feel free to reach out to us on any platform. Shoot us a DM. We'd be glad to have you on for a few minutes to talk whatever you want to talk about, whether it's sports related or culture related. Massachusetts culture related, of course. I don't want to hear anything about like your home state of Oregon. No one really does, to be honest with you, on this podcast. So, again, reach out. We'd be happy to have you on. Talk, few talking points for one episode, and then we'll break it down for you here on Beantown Breakdown, presented by Boston Sports Syndicate. But until next time, guys, take care.